The label fired me for asking for royalties. The pop star destroyed the studio until they begged me to come back. I am a ghost. In this industry, that means I fix the pitch, I line the drums, and I write the hooks. My name is not on the credits. My name is not on the check. I work for Sienna. Sienna is the product. She's 24, blonde, and has the kind of face that billboards were invented for. It is perfect symmetry. Her body is an asset, maintained like a high-performance car. Trainers, nutritionists, dermatologists. She walks into a room and the air changes. Men stop talking. It's biological. They stare at her because she looks like she was built in a lab, to be desired. She knows it. She uses it like a weapon. We were in Studio A. The lights were cut low. The console was a Neve 88RS. It was a massive analog board. I was running the digital tracks through it for summing, trying to force some warmth back into the zeros and ones. It smelled like ozone and expensive dust. Sienna was in the booth. She wore gray sweatpants and a tight white tank top. No bra. She looked expensive even in the cheap clothes. She was angry. "It sounds thin," she said. Her voice cut through the talkback speakers. The vocal. "It has no body." I pressed the button. "It is dry. I haven't added the reverb yet." "Don't talk down to me, Jack. I know what dry sounds like. This sounds cheap." She kicked the door open. It was a heavy door, steel and glass. It hit the stopper with a loud thud. She walked into the control room. She didn't stop at the doorway. She walked right up to the chair. She stood over me. She smelled like vanilla and sweat. She had been singing for 6 hours. She radiated heat. She leaned down. She braced her hands on the armrests of my chair. She trapped me. Her face was inches from mine. I could see the gold flecks in her blue eyes. I could see the pulse jumping in her neck. She didn't look tired. She looked dangerous. "Play it again," she whispered. I didn't move. Her hair brushed against my shoulder. It felt like electricity. I said, "Play it again," she said. I hit the spacebar. The waveform scrolled across the screen. The vocal was good, but she was right. It was flat in the low mids. See, she reached across me to point at the screen. Her breast grazed my arm. She didn't pull back. "I am flat on the bridge." "You aren't flat," I said. My voice was tight. "You are exhausted." "I don't get exhausted," she said. She straightened up. She looked down at me. "Fix it, or I find someone who can." Miller was sitting on the leather couch behind us. Miller is the label rep, 40, balding, and terrified of her. He stared at his phone. He pretended not to see the way she looked at me. "You can't fire me," I said. "I am the only one who knows how to EQ your breath, so you don't sound asthmatic." Sienna looked at me. Her eyes are pale blue. There was no warmth in them, just calculation, and something else. "Hunger. Do again," she said. She turned. She walked back to the booth. The door clicked shut. She was a tyrant. She was impossible, but the girl could sing. The album was done. It was strong. It was going to sell millions. I went to Miller's office on a Tuesday. He sat behind glass desk. The desk cost more than my car. He smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. "Good work, Jack," he said. "Sienna is happy. The label is happy." He slid a check across the glass. $50,000. A buyout fee. I didn't touch it. "I want points," I said. Miller stopped smiling. The room went quiet. "Excuse me." "Points," I said. "Producer royalties. And I want my publishing splits. 50% on Midnight. 20% on Crash." "I wrote the hooks, Miller. I'm taking the equity." Miller laughed. It was a short, dry sound. "Jack," he said. He leaned back. "You signed the contract. You are work for hire. You own nothing. You are a technician." "I built the sound," I said. "Without me, she is just a pretty girl with a decent range." "Careful," Miller warned. "Sienna is the brand. You are replaceable. There are 1,000 kids with laptops outside that door who would kill for this job." "Hire them," I said. "Is that a threat?" "It is a negotiation." Miller picked up the check. He tore it in half. The sound of ripping paper was loud in the quiet office. "Get out," he said. "You are done. We will find someone else to mix the master. You are blacklisted, Jack. You won't work in this town again." I stood up. I walked out. My stomach hurt. My hands were steady. I sat in my apartment for 2 months. I drank cheap beer. I watched the news. The phone didn't ring. My email didn't refresh. Miller told the truth. I was dead in the city. I saw Sienna on the television. She was on a red carpet in London. She wore a silver dress. It looked like liquid metal on her skin. She smiled for the cameras. She waved. She looked perfect. But the album didn't drop. The release date passed. The rumors started. Sienna delays album. Sienna fires producers. Trouble in paradise. I was eating cold pizza. The phone rang. It was Miller. I let it ring. He called again. And again. 7 times. I finally answered. What? She won't sing, Miller said. He was shouting. He sounded panicked. We hired the Swedish team. We hired the guys from London. She walked out on all of them. Not my problem. She is on vocal rest, Miller said. That is the lie we told the press. But she isn't sick. She is on strike. She told us the mix sounds empty. She shoved the microphone stand over on the new engineer. Which mic? The vintage Newman U-47. I closed my eyes. Did it hit the floor? Face first, Miller said. Capsule destroyed. That was a $20,000 tube microphone, Jack. She is costing us $2 million a week, Miller continued. The tour is booked. We need the master. Fix it. We can't, Miller said. She said she won't open her mouth until the ghost is back. I looked at the wall of my apartment. I thought about the way she looked at me in the studio. The heat. 5 points, I said. 3, 5, and full publishing credit. Bold font. Front cover. There was a long pause. Done, Miller said. Get to the studio. I walked into Studio A. The new producers were packing up. They were young kids in skinny jeans. They looked beaten. Sienna was on the couch in the back. She wore no makeup. Her skin was pale, clean. Her blonde hair was pulled back into a tight ponytail. She wore dark sunglasses inside. She was curled up, knees to chest. She looked small. She didn't look up when I walked in. Everyone out, she said. The room cleared. Miller ran for the door. It was just us. The servers hummed in the rack. The AC vent rattled. I walked to the console. I loaded the session file. The waveforms appeared on the screen. They looked familiar. You held the album hostage, I said. Sienna took off the sunglasses. Her eyes were red. She looked tired now. Vulnerable. The new guys were idiots, she said. They tried to auto-tune the ballad. They made me sound like a robot. You stood up for me, I said. I stood up for the record, she corrected. She stood up. She walked to the console. She didn't stop until she was right next to me. She is tall, 5'9". We were eye level. I could smell her perfume. Something musky, expensive. I don't care about your money, Jack, she said. I care about the legacy. These idiots were going to ruin it. You are the only one who knows how to record the low register without making it muddy. Is that it? I asked. Just the EQ. She looked at me. She stepped closer. Her hip bumped mine. She didn't move away. You listen, she said softly. She reached out. She touched my arm. Her fingers were cool. Nobody listens to me. They look. You listen. She stared at my mouth. For a second, the silence was heavy. Then she pulled back. I want to re-record Eclipse, she said. Now, before I lose the nerve. Okay, I said. Get in the booth. Eclipse was the last track. Piano and vocals. No drums to hide behind. Sienna went into the booth. I killed the lights. It was pitch black in there. She liked the dark. She started singing. It wasn't the pop voice. It was raw. I could hear the breath. I could hear the friction of the vocal cords. It sounded like 3 a.m. I sat at the desk. I closed my eyes. I moved the fader. I rode the volume with her breath. She messed up the second verse. Her voice cracked on the high C. Cut, she said. Again. Keep it, I said into the talkback. It cracked, Jack. It cracked because you are sad. I said. It is real. Keep it. Silence. Then a sigh. Fine. We worked for 4 hours. We didn't speak. We just worked. At 3 a.m., we took a break. She came out of the booth. She was sweating. Her hair was loose now, messy. She collapsed on the leather couch next to me. She grabbed a bottle of water. She drank it in long gulps. A drop of water ran down her chin. It went down her neck. It disappeared into the collar of her tank top. I watched it. She caught me watching. See something you like? She asked. I am looking at the vocal cords, I said. making sure they aren't damaged. She laughed. It was a low, throaty sound. Liar, she said. She shifted on the couch. Her knee pressed against my leg. She didn't move it. Miller said you were average, she murmured. She looked at the ceiling. He said you were lucky to be in the room. Miller is a suit. I told him, she said. She turned her head. She looked at me. Her face was inches away. I told him you were the sound. I told him I was just the face. You aren't just a face, Sienna. You wrote the words. You wrote the melody, she countered. She reached out. Her hand covered mine on the leather cushion. Her fingers interlaced with mine. Her palm was damp. Don't leave again, she whispered. I looked at her. The pop star. The diva. She looked like a girl who was afraid of the dark. I got my points, I said. I am staying. She squeezed my hand hard. Her thumb traced the vein in my wrist. Good, she said. She leaned in. I thought she was going to kiss me. I stopped breathing. Then she stood up. She broke the contact. The mask slid back into place. Mix the drums, she said. She walked to the door. They are too quiet. The album dropped in November. Sienna, the Eclipse Sessions. It went #1 in 40 countries. The critics loved it. They called it raw. They called it a reinvention. I went to the release party in Hollywood. The room was full. Models, actors, money. The air smelled like champagne and desperation. It was loud. I stood in the corner, by the bar. I drank whiskey. I checked my watch. I hated this part. The fake smiles. Miller walked past. He nodded. He looked sick. He knew how much he had to pay me next quarter. The music stopped. Sienna walked onto the stage. She wore a black dress with no back. Her hair was down. It was a wave of gold. The crowd screamed. Thousands of phones went up. It was a sea of white lights. She grabbed the mic. Thank you, she said. Her voice was strong. This record was hard. We fought for it. She looked at the crowd. The spotlight hit her. She looked like a statue made of light. People think I do this alone, she said. I don't. There is a heartbeat behind this album. She pointed to the back, to the dark corner where I stood. Jack, she said. The heads turned. 1,000 people looked at me. A spotlight hit my face. I squinted against the glare. Jack is the producer, she said. He is the writer. He is the reason you are hearing this. Give it up for him. The crowd cheered. It was a wall of sound. I raised my glass. Sienna smiled. It wasn't the fake smile she gave the cameras. It was the smile from the studio. The real one. We left an hour later. We were in the back of her SUV. Tinted windows. Leather seats. It was quiet. Sealed off from the world. Sienna kicked off her heels. She curled her legs up on the seat. She looked small in the big car. Did you see Miller? She asked. He looked like he was dying. He owes me 7 figures, I said. I'd die too. She laughed. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Her hair spilled over my chest. It smelled like expensive shampoo. We did it, she said. We did. So, she said. She looked up at me. Her face was close. What is next? The tour, I said. 60 dates. Come with me, she said. I am a studio rat, Sienna. I don't do tour buses. I am not asking you to carry the gear, she said. She shifted. She turned her body toward me. Her hand found my thigh. I am asking you to come with me. I need the ear. I need the anchor. I looked at her. The most famous woman in the world. The diva. She didn't look like a boss. She looked like a partner. I can't run a production from a suitcase, I said. My voice was rough. We will build a studio on the private jet, she said. I have the budget. I laughed. You are ridiculous. I am Sienna, she said. She reached up. She grabbed my tie. She pulled me down. Kiss me, she whispered. That is an order. I didn't argue. I kissed her. She tasted like champagne. She felt warm. Her hands tangled in my hair. She pulled me closer. It wasn't a staged kiss. It was hungry, desperate. The car moved through the city. The cameras flashed outside the glass. They tried to see her. They couldn't see us. We were in the mix. The levels were perfect.